Everyone is uniquely recognized by God, even those who are acting in what is seen as supportive roles. God has his eyes on every detail that is contributing to the bigger picture. So no matter the work you are doing in the faith, it is not redundant. 1 Corinthians 12, the verse 4 to 5 says that there are diversities of gifts by the same Spirit. There are differences in ministry by the same Lord. So you need to be confident in the unique role that God has called you to fulfill. However, in your confidence, make sure that you remain submissive to the authorities that have been set above you, and then you also remain humble. Do not exalt yourself above where God has positioned you. Remember Moses, Aaron, and then Miriam. God significantly used Miriam and Aaron for his purposes. However, when they stood up and spoke against Moses, God rebuked them. In Numbers chapter 12, verse 6 to 8, God said, "Hear now my words. If there is a prophet among you, I, the Lord, make myself known to him in vision. I speak to him in a dream. But not so with my servant Moses. He is faithful in all my house. I speak with him face to face, even plainly, and not in dark sayings." Other versions will say, not in riddles. "And he sees the form of the Lord. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?" What will cause us to advance in the places that God has positioned us, or in the duties that God has called us to perform, is by remaining faithful and committed. Because when you consider Saul and David was faithful as a shepherd, and in that God promoted him. God chose him to rule over his people. Now David was poorer than Saul, he was in a lower rank than Saul, and he was way younger than Saul, and still God chose him. So sometimes submitting to the authorities that God has put above us, because still David submitted to Saul, but that did not mean that before the eyes of God Saul was greater than David. So submission does not necessarily determine your greatness, but it is important because that is the order by which God has set it, that we should submit to the authorities that are above us. We should be humble, because God spoke about Moses that he is humble than anyone who was in the face of the earth, and he was also faithful. And because he was faithful, he was advanced and promoted before God. Meditate further on this. How are you serving in the unique calling that God has given you? God bless you, and I'll see you another day.